Okay guys, I just watched Megabeatman's videos or reviews on the first two issues of the Sonic Adventure tie-in that took place during Archie Comics' distribution of the Sonic the Hedgehog comic books when it was under the license, or when they had the rights to the license. Now, despite how one might feels about the adaptation, there was one common denominator that a lot of fans had about it, and that was Amy Rose. More so, how Amy Rose seemed to be selfish in what she did, or was she? Now, some could say that what Amy Rose did was selfish, and some might say, hey, she's a kid, she got angry, she wasn't thinking, and she did what she felt was the best solution. And that might be true, but it's a case of basically what's more believable, or what side do you intend to go on or be on when it comes to this situation. Now, of course, the real reason why Amy did what she did, or was written to do what she did, was to give her modern look for the tie-in. Just like issue 72 in its manga-like style of, showcasing the story, and how it basically, through a super emerald, gave Sonic his modern look. The same could be said with Amy Rose. The situation with Amy Rose, though, is a little bit more different. You see, one thing that Megabeatman brought up was Amy could have easily, or it could have been easily written in for Amy to use the Super Emerald that Sonic used in 72 when he got his modern look, to give her hers. Instead, Carl Bollers, who wrote the story at the time and was one of the writers for the adaptation, decided to go the Ring of Acorns direction, and that's how Amy got her modern look. Now, the reason people bring up Amy being selfish about this when she got her modern look was because she used this Ring of Acorns that only grants one wish to the pure of heart. Now, the reason people bring up Amy's selfishness as something that shouldn't have been was because Elias, who was Sally Acorn's brother at the time in the stories, wanted to use the Ring of Acorns to wish his mother, or their mother, back to health. Basically out of the chronogenic state and tube she was in, or the comatose state she was in, the chronogenic tube she was in, stuff like that, so she could be alive and well again and back with the family. But even though that was his intentions, that never happened thanks to Amy. Now, some will point out again that the reason Amy did this was because, of course, she had the mentality of a kid, she was angry, and she went with possibly what she felt was the best solution. Not thinking that others, like let's say Elias, might want to use it for more important reasons. But that's neither here or there, right? And again, like I said earlier, it's up for debate on whose side, or what side you want to be on when it comes to that. But there are other reasons. Reasons that don't really get acknowledged until later on in the comic, and if not, are hinted at somewhat afterwards in what is considered the epilogue issues of the adventure tie-in. And that is the fact that Amy doing what she did to herself wasn't because she wanted to go on a mission by making herself older, but also the fact that, as in the games, they had to bring it in somehow again, or they had to refocus on it somehow again. Amy did it because she wants to get Sonic's attention. She wants to be with Sonic. And basically, by wishing herself older, thus allowing herself, much to everybody's chagrin and reluctancy, to be able to go on this adventure at Nate Morgan's request, because he wants to see what effects it might have on her. the Ring of Acorns, that is, basically the truth, as like I said, we find out later on in the comic, as well as even a few issues or an issue or two later after the tie-in, in the epilogue issues as I call them, Amy did it because she wants to be with Sonic. How do I know this? Well, one, I had been subscribing to the comic for a few years at that time, but also the fact of the dialogue. You see, in the issue that followed, in one of the issues that followed, Sonic and Tails were kind of ordered by Sally, or asked by Sally, to go search for, I guess, something, to go scout the area to see where they were, or to find anything that they could use to kind of help them out. Now, the reason I bring this up is because Amy tried to say something along the lines of, okay, maybe or something like that, and Sally shut her down. Sally looked at her and said, don't even think about it. Because Sally, obviously, in this moment, and I'm not saying this because I'm a fan of Sally's, but Sally in this moment was written in a way where she basically, through that one line where she told Amy, don't even think about it, Sally could see one of the real legit reasons why Amy did what she did. And also the fact that maybe when Elias told Sally what his intentions were, or with the Ring of Acorns originally, yeah, Sally's not too kind of happy with Amy right now as it is. Because basically Amy, in her eyes, if Elias did tell her anything off panel, took away her mom's only chance at being alive again. And for her own selfish reasons. Another indication that Amy did this because she wanted to be with Sonic was mostly, as I said, several issues later, if not many issues later down the line. In a flashback that started basically a story called I Want to Be a Freedom Fighter, which was basically a short story that concluded with Amy Rose's official coronation into becoming an official freedom fighter. In the flashback, one of the things Amy tells Sally is that Sally just wants Sonic to herself, and that's it. She says she wants to be a freedom fighter. She brings up the same thing she does in the Adventure tie-in, and then concludes it by saying Sally just is being selfish and wants Sonic to herself. And that's another indication, even though it took place later on, in the comic's lifespan, that basically we find out the truth about Amy Rose, or at least one of the truths as to why Amy did what she really did. But the question is asked to you though, was Amy selfish? Or was she just not thinking because she was angry? And being a kid, or having the mentality of a kid, did that play into her rash decision making to use the Ring of Acorns on herself instead of come up with a different solution or accepting things as they were? Because let's be honest, you could do an adaptation on a story or on a novel, on a game or whatever, and you don't have to include everybody. You can substitute somebody else into that role. We've seen that. So, with that said though, depending on how you look at it, the question is, was Amy selfish in what she did? Or was she not thinking because of the fact that she was still portrayed as a kid and had the mentality of one when she did what she did? Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'd love to hear from you guys on this, and I'll talk to you all later. Matt, Megabeatman, Crystal Maiden 77, I'd especially like to hear your thoughts on it as well.